What is up, guys? This is QRem from the Trinity of Lift, and today I'm finally happy to bring all of you guys my updated Madolche deck for this adjusted February 2016 ban list. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was procrastinating on updating this deck for quite some time, but after a couple of weeks of just moping about that Damage Juggler and Ptolemaeus got banned, I finally got back into testing this deck again to try and bring it into this new adjusted format. And I'm pretty proud of this new list, as I felt like I kind of took the same idea as the old list when we did have Cyber Dragon Infinity. I kind of just tweaked the deck a little bit to kind of have that same good turn 1 mentality, but you still have that OTK potential that Brilliant Madolches is still known for. So without further ado, we're just going to jump right into it, starting off with the main deck as per usual. So there, we're going to start off with the Madolche lineup as usual. We have the 3 copies of Angeli because she's still the best standalone card in this deck. Just being a 1 card plus 2 is really broken. Then we have 3 copies of the Madolche Badger line to act as our Stratos and the best card to pair with our Brilliant Fusions. Then we have 3 copies of Hook Cake because 99% of the time you will be summoning Hook Cake off of Angeli's effect anyway, so we have to have 3 of that. We have 2 copies of Madolche Messengerado to search out our Madolche spells. We have 1 copy of Madolche Mufway because I felt 2 was actually a little bit more cloggy than I ever felt like it was before. Just because now we are running quite a few non-Madolche monsters in our main deck, and because of that you can draw Mufway dead multiple times if you do run the multiples. So I felt like just having 1 copy to search off of Magiline whenever we do need it is just fine with me. So yeah, we have 1 copy of Mufway. And then finally, the 1 copy of Madolche Pudding Cess because the rank 5 Chocola a la mode Pudding Cess is pretty broken. And of course, because of that, we need this to get her full effect. So yeah, that'll be it for the entire Madolche lineup. Moving on to the non-Madolche monsters in our main deck. We have 3 copies of Performance Hat Tricker because I still feel like you really need to push out rank 4s as soon as possible in this deck, because just sitting on your main deck monsters is not good enough anymore because it's just how much removal is in the format. So because of that, I have 3 copies of Hat Tricker in here to accelerate our rank 4 plays. Then we have 1 copy of Performance Hat, or not Hat Tricker, Performance Trick Clown because we need this for our Brilliant Fusions. And again, because I did mention Brilliant Fusion, we have the 1 copy of Gem Knight Garnet because we are only trying to resolve Brilliant Fusion once to try and win the game. So I feel like multiple Garnets was not necessary. So yeah, that'll be it for the Brilliant Fusion-esque kind of cards. Then moving on, we actually have a little bit of a Psychic engine in this deck now. I have 1 copy of Ghost Ogre and 1 copy of Recover because we are running E-Telly to function as another combo piece in this deck, and because of that, I wanted to have the 2 best E-Telly targets to summon. We have the Recover obviously because Naturia Beast is a good card, and we have the Ghost Ogre in here to act as a level 3 summon off of the E-Telly, as well as to also function as another hand trap that we can use. So yeah, that'll be it for the Psychics. And then for the other 2 hand traps I'm maining 2 copies of Effect Veiler. Now, I know I have never probably said this in any of my previous profiles, but I'm going to say it here, in that Effect Veiler is a mandatory card now in the main deck for this deck, specifically because it's another light that you can send off of Brilliant Fusion, because you don't want to run multiple copies of the Performance Trick Clown because it can just brick your hands really bad sometimes. So because of that, we are running the minimal copies of Trick Clown, and we are running Effect Veiler to act as a light substitute if we end up drawing the Trick Clown. So again, I will say that this is going to be a mandatory card that you need to include in your main deck for this deck now. So yeah, we have 2 copies of Effect Veiler to round off our monster lineup. Moving on to our spells, we have the 1 copy of Ticket and the 1 copy of Chateau as usual. Now, of course, I really don't like going over this ratio just because you want your hands to be as live as possible and as full as with as much combo pieces as possible, if I can speak properly right now. So again, because of that, I still don't like multiple copies of either of these cards. So yeah, we have the 1-in-1. Then for the loads of combo piece cards that we are running in this spell lineup, and there is a load, believe me. There's 3 copies of Brilliant Fusion because this card is broken. We have 3 copies of Instant Fusion because this card is also broken, and excuse the proxy because I could not find a 3rd Instant Fusion in time for this profile, but I wanted to try and get it out anyway as soon as possible. So yeah, excuse the proxy. And then we also have 3 copies of E-Telly because yeah, we have to have more combo pieces. Like, I felt like just drawing multiple or 2 of any combination of these spell cards should usually win you the game, because if you go first with a combination of any of these 3 spells, you should be able to make such a good lockdown board against any of the pendulum decks that you should just win. So yeah, we have these 9 combo spells in here to just make our plays a lot better. And then finally, for the last 3 spells, we have 3 copies of the Upstart Goblin because I still like my 37 card consistency. So yeah, that'll be it for the entire spell lineup. Moving on to the traps, and I am running actually quite a few. We have 2 copies of Solemn Scolding because I still feel like this is probably the best trap right now. Like, I know Solemn Strike is great, but I feel like this deck can get blown up by Twin Twister and Raigeki to the point where I feel like I need an answer to those. So because of that, I put Scolding in here to, again, act as that answer for those blowout spells that my opponent might be playing. Then to accompany the Scoldings, we have 1 copy of Solemn Warning to negate Pendulum Summons and whatever. So yeah, that's a pretty good trap card, I hear. And then finally for the last trap, we are running 1 copy of Bottomless Trap Hole because we are running Rafflesia in this extra deck. Yeah, if I can put it properly away. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Moving on to the extra deck. Now, the extra deck is pretty normal for this deck. Like, there isn't a lot of cool things, but I'll just go through it anyway. We have 2 copies of the Madolche Queen Tiramisu because she's really broken. We have 1 copy of Madolche Pudding Set's Chocolat a la Mode because her effect is also pretty broken as long as we make it with a Pudding Set, which again is why we're running the Pudding Set in the main deck. So, yeah, we have the Chocolat a la Mode because her effect is really strong and can just act as a really big combo extender. We have 1 copy of Performance Trapeze Magician because we still need him for our broken Brilliant Fusion ulti Ks. So yeah, we have him. We have 1 copy of Giant Hand because he's still really strong turn 1 against things like Monarchs and whatever who really need their effects to go off. So yeah, Giant Hand is pretty cool. We have the 1 Utopia of the Lightning and the 1 copy of Utopia because punching over big ships is really fun. We have 1 copy of Diamond Dire Wolf because this is still probably one of the best rank 4s out there, so we have Diamond Dire. We have 1 copy of Rafflesia because we are running the Bottomless and this is still a really strong turn 1 play. We have 1 copy of Castel because spot removal is cool. And then finally for the last Xyz, we have 1 copy of Levier for that Levier Tiramisu combos. So yeah, that'll be it for the entire Xyz lineup. Moving on to our synchro of the extra deck. We have 1 copy of Nat Beast because, you know, Nat Beast against Pendulums is pretty strong, so I hear. So yeah, we have the 1 copy of Nat Beast. And then for the fusions, we have 1 copy of Seraphinite because, like I said with Garnet, you really don't want to resolve multiple Brilliant Fusions in a game because if you resolve the first one, you should be trying to win the game right there. So because of that, I felt like multiple Seraphinite wasn't necessary. And then finally for the last 2 fusions, we have 2 copies of Norden because if anything, you'll be resolving multiple instant fusions throughout a game rather than multiple Brilliant Fusions. So because of that, you have to have the 2 copies of Norden for those instances. So yeah, that'll be it for the entire 15 card extra deck. That will bring it to the end of this brand new Madolche deck profile. I did realize that I went pretty fast to this deck profile, but there wasn't a lot of cool things that there was to mention. Like sure, the E-Tellies are a pretty cool engine now, but I really felt like you guys should be knowing why I included it anyway, just because of Nat Beast and combo plays and whatever. So again, yeah, this profile was pretty fast. I will say this is probably the fastest Madolche profile that I've ever made, but then again, there wasn't a lot of cool things like I said. So again, as always, this has been Kyurem from the Trinity of Lift, and I hope you all very much did enjoy this profile, and I'll see all of you guys later. And I completely butchered the ending. Peace.